was kind of debating between this one or this one. I don't... Well, let's just probably go with this one. Just easy. Just get it over with. The mechanical age. I think that's what it's called. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be part of a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures. And it was. The sky here is dark and gray and increasingly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. We need to trim. He is not very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world. I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me, there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills, which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. The people had no means of travel on the water, which forced them merely to wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors that an enemy that existed beyond the horizon, that people grew fearful. Yet nothing happened. One day, the usually sunny sky became as dark as the night. Okay, there we go. And black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout posts at the Thames at peace were turned away, and the centaurs there were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean, and only the outlook post remained, and the black ships sailed away. Oh man, that's kind of sad, actually. The man continued to say that the 8 people had hidden and managed to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors have died. He also said that it was also rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction that they had started so long ago. I have decided that since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save this civilization and stop the enemy's plans of destruction. I am excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea that has sparked in my mind to provide the necessary defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today, and I have begun work on the plans for protection. So obviously, they're not in the mood to actually attack them. So just protection. Gear room. There's some of these paintings are like gone. After a short absence, I have returned with this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it is already obvious to me that they will be a great help to this time. Instead of the nuisance that they have been in the past, all 3 of us, along with the 4 of the healthiest survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I am very pleased with their intelligence, and their creativity is refreshing to see, as they work on some small projects of their own. Okay, there is a staircase. I feel like I should make note of that. It has been over 4 months now, and construction is going well. You know, I just noticed that most of these pictures, I'm like, I swear I should take note, because they're just... I would not write that in my own journal, if I ever had one. Most of the construction is going well. My sons love the world except its gray skies. They detest the gray skies and tell me many times that they wish the sky here was like the blue skies in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel that we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways. I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. Who's Emmett? I'd like to learn who this Emmett is. I really gotta search that up. It has been... Sorry, guys. I just had an idea. Sorry, continuing on. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the three hills, which are now only islands due to a rising water level that people experience after the attack. Inside the fortress, I have designed a most intriguing device. It makes use of a technology called a holography. I'm just gonna say it's a holograph. I began experimenting with on my visits to it's another age name, as from Mir, which will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. Got it. So so this switch is the power, and this one deals with the track slope. So basically, actually moving the track. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust that the fortress will provide a significant protection for all of us. This is the track, and so you can move the island around. So there are this island, and that island, and then the fortress right there, which supposedly is on the last bit of the city. I can't wait to see this place in real life. The black ships have come, and their attack was substantial. Substantial. Thank you. Their weapons have been stopped, and it appears that they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched their boats leave. So no one died. There we go. Not the enemy died. None of us died. So we're all good. No one died. They just kind of gave up. The insignia of the black ships. Okay. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dance of old. My sons did not understand why the skies did not turn back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storm would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured that my sons that a blue sky was not worth the risk of death, as they seemed to hear me. They have a healthy adventure and have begun work on a new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar age in search of a new universe. I have begun. But first I will have an extended time with Catherine, who I miss very much. I must also return with the people of Tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone alignment, and they have long endured. I hope to return to mechanical age one day to find the population grown and my fortress still strong. Though the skies may always be black, I am confident the people here feel a heavier darkness had been lifted from their shoulders. So, when we go there, the skies should be black, because, everyone's just still alive, or supposedly. Alright. And the last book... Is this what I think it is? Yeah, that's okay. Just making sure. The Scientific Age. It has been a while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly, I think. For some reason, I do not feel altogether welcomed in this new world in which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to ever write in a journal that an age I have linked to is horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill, not greasy, sorry, that's my head. The grassy hill where I stand, I can see green fields below, along which few scattered forests. A rather long lake looms some distance from where I am standing. Yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. I'm sorry guys, I just can't read. The air is fresh and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolute breathtaking, and yet that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north, hotter than I would have imagined. It almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived and the sunset is spectacular. Orange and reds have settled above the western horizon. Though night has come, the horizon still glows red long past the sunset. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blends into the black sky. Again the feeling. I am beginning to believe that it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I have returned home due to an unpredictable nature occurrence more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by a terrible shaking in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I have immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case that the one I left there has been destroyed or damaged. So, I guess that was the reason why we didn't feel welcome. But basically, all hell was ringing loose. I have returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It has been transformed into a barren desert land with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently, the falling meteors did not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of the horrible desolation. The hot wind, I remembered, was turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and the jaggeding rock that grows out of the center of the lake. The rest of this world seems like a desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds consistently flow through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head into a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breeze had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting out from the earth. Suddenly the earth began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the turbulent substance, leaving only a dull roar. I have decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. And well, I think we've got a power system going on. Right here. Even as the chasm had ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created. And now explore deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I should leave again to see if things are different when I return. It is also important that I should check on Cirrus and Akinar, and making sure that everything is going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw material here is beginning to amaze me. I have returned with some of the complex tools I know I will be needing, or would, doesn't matter. I assume I would have to return for some more basic materials. However, it seems though I will be able to find everything I need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I have also found some titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. So I love working with my hands, whether writing or building. And it begins to fade out as it says, I begin today on the bridge, and although I cannot read the rest, I'm going to continue on. The magnetic idea will work well, and I've decided to compass satellite 3 meters is not enough to support the beam, although it somewhat the amazingly strong spaceship has to be one of the most prized inventions. I am extremely could never have imagined it to come together quite or cute as I doubt could possibly work with 14 instead of 8. Completely fatigued. I am so happy to have completed. Oh, I guess he's done. And I will probably leave tomorrow. I don't know if he's actually saying, but it just says the word tomorrow. There's a smudge on my computer. I am leaving today in order to bring back Sirius and Akinar, and I have left them alone in Channelwood. Oh, so this was actually when he left them alone, so maybe this was... I don't know if he mentioned the one book, I can't remember. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. This age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteor set off a prior of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I have just noticed that a large amount of my journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over on the last 18 months. Fortunately, I have copied many of my instruction notes in another journal, but I do not understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I will discover logically answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age, which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept the world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. And our piano key to get the book. Oh, and a map. So, obviously, this was the crater he told me about. Alright. But there we go. We have read all our books. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment. If you decided to tag along, if you did, thank you so much. And if you're actually enjoying this so far, make sure you give this video a like, because I'm enjoying this so far. And if you're learning anything, definitely click the like button. And I hope you guys are willing to see the next video, because that'll be out tomorrow. And I'm not lying in any kind of sort of way. It will be out tomorrow, I swear. So, I will catch you guys later. Till then, I'm just gonna look at the ceiling. See you guys!